PHP. Basically, the flow of any programming language is statement by statement, one after the another. But many of the times, this is not the case that we will go in a straight path. We have to change our decision according to situations, like if I am going by a walk, or if I am driving a car, or if I have to drive a bike. Accordingly, we will change our decisions and path. So, such statements that are changing the flow of our program are known as a control statements. Now, there are two broad categories of control statements: conditional and unconditional. Conditional means these are the statements where we need to check the condition, where we need to make a decisions, or where we want to repeat a code. So, accordingly, there are two different categories: decision making or branching or conditional statement, and second one is iterative or looping statements. Third categories, or the third subcategory is condition jumping statements or skipping statements. Now we will see with the decision making or branching statement. These are the statement where we want to check the condition. Now we will see how to write a code for decisions or checking the conditions, starting with the if statement. If, it means we have a question mark, we have to check. So the if statement is used to check condition, and it will show only true side. In the flow chart, the condition is checked with the diamond, and it is represented with the diamond, and two possible outcomes are true and false. If the result of statement is true, only the body of the loop will execute, otherwise it will jump out of the if block. Syntax is if condition true statement. Now we will see a simple example. If we take a number from user and we want to check whether it is even or odd. Suppose if I am reading a number from user and I have to display it is positive. Suppose I am writing this code. So I will write condition if x is greater than 0, and if the result of this condition is true, then only the statement in this if block, that means this true statement, will execute, and it will jump out of the block. And if the result of this condition is false, it will not execute this true statement, it will jump out of the block. Let's see how we can see the output over here. There is an error because of the bracket. Just remove it and execute again. Enter a number. If I am giving 4, the number is positive, and by. Now see, if I am giving a negative number, it is directly showing by, because this block has not been executed. Next, whenever we want to show both the true and false side of any condition, then we can go with the if else statement. If the result of condition is true, the true block will execute. Otherwise, we have something to show or execute if the result of condition is false. And after any of the possible execution, it will jump out of the if else block. Syntax is if condition true block, else false block. If there is only one statement after if and else, there is no need to write this curly braces, which is unnecessarily creating a complexity of a code. Let's see, we will show whether number is positive or negative with the same example. Here I want to read a number and show whether it is positive or negative. Then we will have the same if along with the else block, and we will show the output. And this is the by statement, which is after the if else block. Enter a number 2, number is positive by. If I again execute with negative number, it is showing the number is negative by. It means the if the result of condition is true, the true block will execute and the statement after if else block will execute. If the result of condition is false, the true block will not execute, the statement in the false block will execute, and the program will continue from the statement after if else block. Next, there are variations of writing this if else statement. Nested if, it means we can write one if else in another if else when this statement can be used. Now, nested if is generally used when we want to check multiple condition, and the next condition will be checked only if the result of previous condition is true. Okay, example, if person's age is greater than 18, then only I will check whether person is having Aadhaar card, then only I will continue with my project. If the person's age is less than 18, then I will not check for the Aadhaar card is available or not. Likewise, in such application we can use the nested if else. Now we will see simple example, largest of three number using nested if else. I have read three number from user first, second, third in ABC. If A is greater than B, then only I will check whether A is greater than C. And if it is greater, then only I will display largest number is A. If the A is greater than B, but A is not greater than C, it means largest number is C. And here is the false block of this if A is not greater than B, it means B is greater. Then we will check whether B is greater than C. So the code is written in the else block of this if B is greater than C, largest number is B, otherwise largest number is C. Let's see. Enter first number 1, 2, 3. Largest number is 3, that is C. Let's check for A. Okay, let's see for the largest number for A, that is 3, 2, 1. Now largest number is 3. It means the A has been shown as a wrong. We will run again and we'll check for B. Let's check 1, 3, 2. Largest number is 3. Now the B is largest. Okay. Another variation of if else is else if ladder. It means whenever the conditions result is false, then only the next condition will be checked. Okay, see the example. It means one if else is combined or nested in else block of first if. So if result of condition 1 is true, then true block will execute. Otherwise, if the result of first condition is false, then only the next condition will be checked. Okay, now we will see one simple example. If month is January, August, then we will show the output as Republic Day or Independence Day. I have taken one variable x with the variable value as August, and I am checking whether x is equal to January, then I will display Republic Day. If x is not January, then it will not execute this Republic Day display statement. Then I want to check for another condition. Then we are writing else if $x is equal to August, then we will display independence. Otherwise, we have nothing to show. Now executing this code. Now as X is August, that's why it has displayed Happy Independence Day. If you change the month over here, then it will execute nothing to show because it is not satisfying January as well as August. So these are the variations of if else. When we have multiple conditions to check, we can go with the switch case statement, which is quietly reducing complexity of a code. If there are multiple cases, multiple value for one option has to be checked, we will go with the switch case. Syntax is we have to check the result of one variable in the switch variable. We have to compare that with multiple cases, and if it matches with the case statement, then that case will execute and it will jump out of the switch block because we have written break statement after each case. Because once the statement is matched and if the case is matched, only that block has to execute and it should jump immediately out of the block. So break statement is written. Why default? If the person has given a choice that is not available in our services, then it should show some message or message to the user that statement is written in the default statement. Now suppose we have one number and we want to display whether it is 10, 20 or 30, then we will show some output over here. Now number is initialized to 20. So it is checking the value of 20. We have three cases only, 10, 20, 30. If number is 10, then only number is equal to 10 will be displayed and it will jump out of the switch and it will show us by message. Let's see. Number is equal to 20 and by, because the 20 number is checked over here in switch as number is 20. Case 10 is equal to 20. Both are not matching, so this statement is not executed. Then it jumped to next case. 20 is equal to 20. Yes, so it had shown number is equal to 20 and it immediately has encountered the break statement, and after the break is executed, it will jump out of the switch block and the statement by is executed. Now suppose I am assigning number is equal to 50. There is no case for 50, 10, 20, 30 only. So what output this is giving? Number is not equal to 10, 20 or 30. So case value is not matching with the variable in the switch, so it is jumping to the default block and this line will execute and it will jump out of the switch block. This is the execution of switch statement. Now second category of control statement is looping or iterative statement. These are used when we want to repeat a block of code multiple times. Now we will see how to write the loops. First loop is while loop. It is known as a entry control loop. Why? See the syntax. For any loop, we need three important lines: initialization of counter, condition, it means where we can terminate, and third, we have to increment or decrement a counter. Suppose I am giving you example that room is filled with white and red balloons. I want to take red 10 balloons. What I will do? I will pick up one red balloon. I will start with 1. If I am picking second balloon, I will count that as 2. Then third, fourth, I will do this till I have 10 balloons in my hand. So I am started with 1, I ended with 10, and after taking each balloon, I have incremented the value by 1. I have not done like first balloon, then fourth balloon directly, then sixth balloon directly, likewise. Okay, so this is the syntax of while loop: initialization of counter, while condition, execute the code, increment and decrement of counter, and the statement after the while block. While loop is known as an entry control loop because the condition is checked before executing the statement. Now suppose I want to print 1 to 10 number using while loop, how we can write the code? As I said, for executing the loop, we have to start or initialize the counter. So I have taken I is equal to 1. While I is less than or equal to 10, we have to print the number. Once the number is printed, we can increment the value of I by 1 by using increment operator, and you can write any statement that you want to display after while block. So when I run the code, I am getting output 1 to 10 number in series because I have incremented the value by 1. Now suppose I want to display the even number between 1 to 10. What I will do? I will initialize counter to 2 because even number between 1 to 10 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So starting is 2, end is 10, and increment is done by 2. So we have to just maintain the same code. Counter is initialized, condition is set because we have to terminate after 10. We will print I. Once one I is printed, we have to increment the value of I by 2. So we will get the next even number. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this is while loop. Do while loop, it is opposite of while loop. Here, first the block is executed and then condition is checked. So that's why do while loop is known as a exit control loop. Again, syntax is same with while, only the statements are interchanged. Initialization of counter, do, execution of code, increment and decrement, and after do block while condition is checked. Same example we will do with the do while. Suppose I want to print 1 to 10 number, I have initialized the counter I is equal to 1. Then do execute the block, print the number, increment or decrement statement, and after do block mention the condition when you want to terminate while I is less than or equal to 10. So again we got the same output. For odd number between 1 to 10, using do while, counter is set, do, print the number, only the condition is increment the value of I by 2, $I plus 2. It will print the odd number between 1 to 10, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now, what is the difference between while and do while? Now, here, suppose do while condition is false at first time itself. Now, suppose I have set I is equal to 32. Okay, I is equal to 31 or any number. So, basically, we should not get the output. But when I run the program, it is showing number is equal to 31 and then by, but condition was display the number only if it is less than or equal to 10. Still we got the output. Why this has happened? Because in do while, first the block is executed and then at the end condition is checked. So even if the condition is false at first time itself, still we get output at least once in do while loop. That's why do while is quite incorrect loop. Okay. Now, most popular loop is for loop. For loop is most popular because all the three statements like initialization of counter, checking condition, increment or decrement, that all three statements are written in a single on a single line in a for loop. Now, same program of executing 1 to 10 number using for loop, how we can do that? Dollar I have just declared a variable. We will write for initialize dollar I is equal to 1, dollar I is less than or equal to 10, dollar I plus plus. Just print the number. No need of separate increment line over here and execute the code. Okay. Dollar I is less than or equal to 10. We got the output. So initialization of counter, checking condition, and increment or decrement is separated by semicolon in the for loop and written on the same line. Suppose I want to display number from 10 to 1. So we will change I is equal to 10 till I is greater than or equal to 1. We have to come in reverse order, then we will write I minus minus. So output is 10 to 1. This is for loop. Additional loop in PHP is for each loop. This is basically used with the array. Syntax is for each, array name, and one variable so that we can print the value of each index position available in the array. We will see example. Now suppose we have array with we have created AR array with values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I want to display this array. So what we can do, we are generally using for I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus and print AR of I in another programming languages. But here we can make use of for each loop. There is no need to mention the $I is equal to 0. I mean to say initialization of counter, condition, increment, that three things we need not to give in for each loop. We have to just write for each name of the array as take one index variable, it may be I, V, whatever, echo and value is $V. So when we run the output, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is no need to write initialization, condition, increment and decrement and subscript for printing the array value. We can simply go with the for each, which will reduce the complexity of code while printing the array. Now, to now we will see the jumping statements. Break is a conditional jumping statement. Once the break statement is encountered, it will not execute the further statement and immediately it will jump out of the loop. Syntax is, we are in any loop, it may be for, while, do, while. We have statements to be executed. One condition, as break is a conditional jump statement. If there is a condition, break further code and the block is completed over here. We will see example. Now suppose I have a record of 10 students. It is a class of 10 student and I want to print the batch 1 which is of first 5 student. So I have initialized I to 1. I want to print, I have a record of 10 student, that is I is less than or equal to 10. I am printing I record of students. One record is printed and then the next record will be done by incrementing the I. But when roll number is equal to 6, when the sixth record will start, I want to stop the printing. So once I is equal to 6, I have written break. So it will not continue with the further iteration from 6 to 10 and it will jump out of the while loop. So it is giving output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and by. So iterations from 1 to 5 are executed. Once the iteration is equal to 6, the break is encountered. It will not execute the further iteration of while loop, that is 6 to 10, and it will immediately jump out of the loop and the statement after the loop will be executed. Next one is continue statement. Again, it is a conditional jumping statement. Here, continue is having the same syntax as a break, only the breaks word will be replaced by the continue word. Now, suppose I have a record of 10 students. We will see the same. Now, we will see the example of continue. Suppose I have to print the record from 1 to 5. So I am writing a simple for loop for I is equal to 1, I is less than 5, I plus plus, and I want to skip the record of second. Suppose I have 1 to 5 student and the second student has taken LC or left the school. I don't want to print that record. So we will simply write if $I is equal to 2. So what will happen once the I variable is equal to 2, it will continue, it means it will skip the current record and it will start from the next iteration. So what output we are expecting? 1, then it will skip the second, so output should be 1, 3, 4 and 5. Let's see, 1, 3, 4, 5. So continue, what it does, it will skip the current iteration where the condition has written for that iteration and it will start again from the remaining iterations of the loop. So this is about the conditional statements in the PHP. Thank you. We will see the next session.